So hey guys, second video of the day. Let me drop this down so it's not at some weird obscure angle. I'm gonna lean in on this, just get comfortable. We are going to take a quick look right now, ladies and gentlemen, at the WE knives designed by Elijah Isham. This is the Pleroma. Pleroma is the name of this. It's hard. I can't call it. I actually am reshooting this video because he did an entire video and called it the Plagiarum for the entire video. This is Pleroma. And yeah, let's take a quick look at it. Let's get in. Sorry guys, this, as several of the other, the other Isham design knives, he's got three designs that I've seen, that I've held in hand. This is the third one. His designs, as always, are smooth flowing lines, nice, there's no hot spots on this knife. Elijah does an amazing job designing these things. So what you've got here is a rather small handled, it's not a large knife at all. Let's put it that way. It's not a very big knife. Not real big. Warncliffe blade, small handle, kind of a workhorse knife, nice thin, broad blade. Get a lot of work, but like I said, the execution from WE and the design by Elijah is just, you just can't go wrong. And they always do such a good job on the small finer details. Like, you can't really feel too much where the inlay pieces meet the titanium. And that's hard to do with carbon fiber. So let's get the camera turned around, take a good close look at it, and we'll look at the Pleroma now that I'm pronouncing it correctly. So, all right guys. So I broke out a couple things. So like everybody knows, the size of Sebenza. We're gonna use some size comparisons. So this knife is significantly smaller than that. So, and we'll look at this as well. This is the Bob Terzuola. I can't ever pronounce Bob's name. CTF by Mastrop, also produced by WE. That's a 3.5-inch blade. So you can see you're looking at size comparison. This is still I think probably one of the smallest knives in my collection, is still larger than the Pleroma. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not got any more. Let's just take a quick look and make sure that we're getting good measurements on this. So this is my handy dandy titanium ruler, and we'll take a quick look at this here. Let's see, we are looking at a 3 and, let's see here. Looks like 3 1/4 if measured from there. If you're measuring from the edge, length of usable edge, which is a measurement that I find useful a lot of times, is going to be, I don't want to screw up the edge, I did. So exactly 3 inches. There you go. Exactly 3 inches of actual edge. So size comparison out of the way, significantly smaller. Let's put this stuff away. And since I have it and I put new batteries in it and I had it out for something else, I was weighing a package to send to a customer. Let's look at the actual weight in comparison. So versus size, you are 2 1/2 ounces. And then for those of my European subscribers, I zeroed it. All right, grams, 75 grams. 75 grams, not a heavy knife. Let's take a look at this one. What's this one weigh? 86 grams. And then a full-size Sebenza is 139. So just to let you guys know, I mean, it's not a very heavy knife at all. You could carry this all day and it wouldn't weigh your pockets down. So let's take a good look at it up close. So as you can see, like I said, all of these inlays, all this stuff done incredibly well. They've switched away from the proprietary star tool to actually making, just using regular Torx. A lot easier. You don't have to that special tool. It's actually a keychain. You are looking at a 3-inch long edge from point to point. A little bit longer actual blade. Action on this is really smooth. Pocket clip, I'm not a fan of milled pocket clips, but this one's cool because it does aesthetically, it follows the lines of the knife. Not a fan of how these terminate. I'm not a fan of these kind of pocket clips anyway. I do like this. I like this one that they did on the CTF, where it's kind of a hybrid. But, pocket clips are always going to be the point of contention with pretty much everyone. Finish on this knife is amazing. The only problem I really have with it, this design, this handle, almost this sway back design, it's in my hands, it's not comfortable. Now, this came to us from another YouTuber here in San Diego, Metal Effort. This is his knife. Nick Shabazz actually is the one that referred me to him, or him to me, I should say, for sharpening. He asked Nick Shabazz if he knew of anybody that was decent, good sharpening here in San Diego. He put me in touch with him, so thank you for that, Mr. Shabazz. But yeah, I mean, you've got such smooth flow in Elijah's designs. Even the big, nasty looking one with the multiple angles and stuff like that, that looked like it should have been in a Harkonnen's hand in Dune. Still, smooth, comfortable, flowing lines. Like I said, in my hand, this knife is a little bit uncomfortable. It's just because of the way my hands are. The owner and I talked about that. For him, he loves it. It's perfect. It's comfortable. For me, it just feels almost... It feels weird in my... I would probably get used to it, but it feels weird in my hand because the handle's fairly short, and then it has this large bulb area at the back. For me, that's... I mean... Is it a showstopper? No, but this isn't my style knife anyway. But the action on this WE Knives action is smooth. Huge aperture there. Finish on the blade is all fingerprinted because I've got greasy hands, but finish on the blade is pretty nice. It's a cross between a really super fine stonewash and a satin, is the way I would look at it. It's really smooth, really well done. Edge, behind the edge, super thin behind the edge all the way back. It does thicken a little bit here, but that's just because, that's the end of the termination of the grind. Nice broad blade that allows you to get that thin edge. Not super thick stock. And then there's just the little details, like the aesthetics that go into this. Like all of Elijah's knives are attractive and gorgeous in their own way. This is the third model that I've gotten to see. But that thumb stud that just hangs down into nothing, pretty nice. And then even the attention to detail to have the two-tone on the pivot. So, like I said, man, always carbon fiber is so hard to work with. And WE's carbon fiber that I've seen, I've never seen a flaw in any of their knives with carbon fiber. So, there's Pleroma, Isham Blade Works design there. Always good. Always good designs. Interesting, aesthetic. He's bringing new stuff to the market that is stuff we haven't seen in the production realm. Kind of mixing that art and fantasy into a production style knife that's actually usable, as opposed to just some of the fantasy knives that you were seeing from some companies that were just, they were fantasy knives that were based on stuff in movies, and they just were not quality. So what you're getting here is that kind of that futuristic design aesthetic with a quality product. So like I said, guys, this is probably not a knife that I would carry. It's not that it's not a good knife. It's just, it's not the right size for my hands. The handle is a showstopper for me. But like I said, never would I say that this is not an awesome quality knife. And once again, let's say thanks to Metal Effort. I'm not going to give you his name because I don't 100% sure know if he wants to have his name put out there, but you can find his YouTube channel. It's that simple, Metal Effort. He's just getting started out. He's only got a few videos up. Top-down review. He does some pretty cool stuff. I watched his one that he did for Christmas, and I do believe it was his review of this knife. He's a Star Wars geek. He's got R2-D2 in there. There's some humor in that. And that's why I'm not releasing his name, because he does it all top down. He doesn't show his face. So I would imagine that he's like Birdshot and Nick Shabazz. They're kind of pretty private about their actual identity. But he was here at the house. We talked for, we must have talked for 2 hours that day that he came by. Awesome, awesome guy. So if you want a new channel to start following and finding where you get more of the technical spec stuff that I don't normally do. I'm just telling you, is it comfortable in my hand? Do I think it would work? Is there any issues with manufacturer quality, things that I look at knowing knife makers, making knives, and professional sharpening knives? Those are the things that I look for, and so that's what this channel is kind of based on. And I look for the things that are my little gripes. Like people have said that I'm over critiquing knives sometimes. I'm overcritical, hypercritical, but I mean, that's kind of what it is this is the things that I find in knives that irritate me, and I'm not seeing it in this. The pocket clip, because I'm sure there's gonna be people that watch the Tangram video and are like, oh, you didn't throw a fit because it was left-handed? And I was like, you know, in the big scope of things, only being able to carry it left-handed, well, yes, that's limiting and I wouldn't buy it. It doesn't take away from the fact that it's a well-built knife in a fairly decent price point. Now, I'm going to get you some more information about this knife so I can put up, because I didn't get a package. I didn't get the original packaging. It came, you know, he brought it by the house. So hang on just a second. We're gonna look this up and we're gonna get some information on it so I can give you the actual specs, and then we'll close. All right, guys, the final little bits and pieces. So this is M390, Bowler M390. I don't know. Oh, there it is. I found it. Tiny, tiny, tiny right here. It's because the lighting is crap. I'm in my kitchen. Like I said, the weather's still too bad to be out there. It's raining and it's cold. The temperature's dropped. And it's windy. So at any rate, $299 right now on Blade HQ. I don't get any promotional thing from them. I just happened to see that they had the big list. It is listed as a hand rub satin. I'm not seeing that as a hand rub satin. I would say that that's probably a mistake. It looks more like a super, super fine stonewash to me is what it looks like. Like I said, Bowler M390 steel, $299. MSRP is $350. So that's another thing. While we're on this subject, because it just happened to pique my interest, it took like 10 minutes to look it up. I see people that buy knives, and if you don't shop around, there's a good chance you're going to pay more than you should. There are times where you can get stuff, the exact same item. If you're on the manufacturer's site, you can probably find that item cheaper. Cold steel knives is a prime case. I do like cold steel knives, despite the common misconception. I like cold steel knives, but do not buy cold steel knives off their website. Cold Steel Knives website, their actual home website, you're gonna pay full MSRP. If you just were to go to Amazon, you can probably find that knife significantly cheaper. I do have to say, Cold Steel has been one of the worst, not offenders, but worst about having counterfeits of their knives come out. Because they're easy to duplicate. There's so much information about their knives out there, and a lot of them are fairly easy designs. So be careful for counterfeits, even on Amazon. Amazon does try to, as best they can with as many vendors as they have, they try real hard to keep the counterfeit and fake stuff down, but the fact is, it's still an issue. So, yeah, that's it. The Pleroma. Elijah knocked it out of the park. Again, beautiful design. And everything about this, the thought that went into like rounding and smoothing this, there's no sharp edges on this knife. There are none. Like everything is softened. There's not, even on the grind lines, things like that. everything is softened. The sharpest point on this knife are the ridges on the thumb stud, and that's because you need friction. That's the only reason. You just need a little friction to get that, to deploy it. And it doesn't take much. Even as, you know, that has a point to it, it's still not sharp. It's nice and softened and rounded. So it does have an aesthetic quality. I wish it fit in my hand better. I really find that attractive. I find that flowing line really attractive. So Elijah, once again, and it's not just because I like Elijah. If I didn't think that this was a good design, you would know. So, love you guys. Once again, don't drink and drive. Don't do stupid stuff. Don't do the dumb shit that gets you in trouble and gets you guys hurt. You guys are my viewership. You're my, like, I would hate to have any of you not come back from the holidays. Same speech I used to give my troops. Don't go out and do something stupid. Come back from the holidays safe. If you were my troops, I was like, yeah, because I don't have to do all this work myself. So that's the way it was when I was in the military. But yeah, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Don't go to the trouble of doing a New Year's resolution. Just try to be a better person every day. Just try and wake up in the morning and say to yourself, I'm going to be a better person. Guess what? Your New Year's resolution that you're not going to make it past Monday going to the gym and shit, you're not going to make that. But if you just try every day to just be a better person a little bit every day, by the end of the year, you'll see a change. All right, guys, take it easy. Love you all. See you in the next video.